Yeah, guys, like an Agatha Christie model novel. Just so many plots and sub-themes, and the game just ebbed and flowed and changed so much. And never been a big fan of Agatha Christie, so wasn't a big fan of the way the game turned out tonight either. Listen, we played a quality side. They're not on top of the ladder and unbeaten for any other reason that they're a great outfit and such a resilient and disciplined group. And we just ran out of legs and ran out of a couple of soldiers in the end. But our blokes were brave, but bravery doesn't necessarily win your big games and grand finals. We got to improve a bit. But our boys will have benefited enormously from the experience tonight, and we get ourselves ready for Gold Coast next week. That's it. Over.
You smashed them with clearances and stopped their run in the third quarter. Did they turn the tables directly on you in the last? Is that how they got momentum back?
Yeah, quite possibly. Their back end is just an unbelievable defensive unit, and they rely on their back six to accept a lot of responsibility for how they control things in the back end. They don't actually require their midfielders to push deep very often, just because they're so good 1v1. So that makes it difficult for you, because your midfielders are always having to make a choice between going hard and chasing the ball inside your own 50 or trying to take account of some of the Geelong midfielders who are going to the exit position. So their defence is the cornerstone of their game, and at different stages we were able to penetrate that, and in periods throughout the game early in the second quarter we were able to, and then for a fair slab of the third quarter we were able to, but we obviously couldn't do that very well in the last quarter.
That shootout that you talked about yesterday that you didn't want to get involved in, what were your feelings at half time?
Yeah, it was certainly heading a bit that way. Having said that, it wasn't a high inside 50 game. The fact that it was 10 goals to 9, but it was only 12 scoring shots to 11. That's not. It could quite easily have been 7 goals 4 to 6-5 or something at half time, which is usually the type of scoring rate, rather than both sides being so accurate. But so it wasn't a shootout in a sense, in terms of just ball flipping from one end to the other, ground to the other, and both sides having 60 inside 50 entries, and that was sort of the way the game was played in round 5. So it was a little bit different to that. But having said that, we still needed to try and stop their scoring power a little bit in the second half, and I thought we did that. They scored no goals in the third quarter and only kicked 3 in the last. But the problem was in the last quarter we couldn't nail a couple of shots, and we couldn't really even get it inside 50. I think it was something like 17 inside 50s to 6 in the last quarter, and the dam wall could have broken, and we just couldn't take the couple of forays forward that we had, just missed kicks, and that's the pressure of the game though. And we got a pretty young group that was playing tonight. A lot of guys that are playing in front of a big crowd like that against a quality opponent for the first time, and they'll get enormous benefit out of that experience. But we just couldn't nail a couple of crucial balls in the last quarter that might have just arrested the momentum that Geelong had and brought it back our way.
How critical was the rough injury at that time of the game? You're already sort of one down. How critical was that?
Yeah, well, I think they'd already kicked their 3 though, Glenn. The game was. I don't think there was a goal kicked after about the 10-minute mark of the last quarter. And Ruffy got injured after those 3. So it's a disappointing injury for us, because he's just been in such good form. But just got to move on pretty quickly and find a replacement, and just keep going. We can't sit around and sulk for too long. It's just stiff injury. We've got 3 guys now: Gillum, Stratton, and Ruffy. They're all very important players to us that have all gone down with season-ending injuries. But teams have won flags like that before. I can remember being at Port Adelaide at the start of 2004, and the captain Primus and a significant leader and runner-up in Brownlows and that sort of stuff in Josh Franco, both hurt knees early in the season. And everyone could have quite easily said, you can't win the flag without Primus and Franco. They're two quality players. Two guys stepped into their roles and they won the flag in 2004. So it can be done. It's going to certainly test us, but we're certainly not going to give up.
So that was an Achilles, just confirming?
Yeah, he's hurt his Achilles pretty bad. So we'll get that looked at throughout the course of the week. But I think he's going to spend a fair amount of time on the sidelines. And if it is ruptured, which they suspect it is, then he'll miss the rest of the season.
And potentially part of next year as well.
We'll just have to wait and see, mate. Yeah, not sure what they do in terms of surgery and that sort of stuff. But I'm no medical expert, but the Quacks will work that out.
You had one or two other injuries tonight?
Yeah, only Youngie. We needed to sub him off I think it was the second quarter. He just had a little bit of hamstring tightness and he just couldn't run at full tilt. So we had that's the benefit of the sub in a sense. You can bring a guy on and Brucey was lively again when he came on and did some good things. We'll just have to assess Youngie throughout the course of the week and see whether he's okay to play next week or he might miss a game, but it's not too serious.
James Kelly mentioned on radio a minute ago about he thinks that you'll be heading to Jeff Geeshan after the Franco non-free kick in the dying minutes. Have you got any? Did you?
Listen.
Any thoughts of that?
No, I don't think it's worth going down that track. There's many other areas of the game that we need to focus on is the reason why we need to get better rather than worrying about whether an umpiring decision was going to be the critical factor. Bottom line is we didn't make good enough decisions with our ball movement. You're not gonna beat the Cats if you only have 38 inside 50 entries. So we need to correct a few things with the way that we go about it. But we're round about the mark. But we wanted to use tonight to see if we've made some improvements since round 5, and I think we have. But we just need to be a bit more polished with the way that we use the footy.